Okay. So, first thing, if like if the audio goes kind of wonky, let me know. We're trying something new today, as you might be able to see right there. That's the mic. I usually have it like I usually have it pinned on me, but to cut down on literally running into it every 5 seconds and being annoying, I'm gonna try and pin it over there. I don't know if that's gonna work, just because the cord is now like crossing my lap and stuff. So I've got like the papers taped up on the wall here. Might attach it to that. Let me know. And it's a little bit darker today because this my lamp has decided that it only wants to be on one setting for right now. So we're just gonna let it have a sit. um, I don't know if it's because it needs a new power cord or what right now, but things are in play at the moment. But like we've got the many times refilled water bottle over here and stuff. I don't. Can you not keep falling everywhere? Thanks. I ended up only getting through 2 chapters, as you might like notice up there. So yeah, I'm gonna try and get through more for next week, or if we want to do like a bonus round later in the week, I don't know. But yeah, that's a thing. Yeah. So anyway, hi, hello, how's everybody doing? If you're new here, my name's Rin, and on Mondays on Twitch, we do. Excuse me. we do Botany Book Club, where we're talking about books, and usually there's botanical themes in them, or it's just straight about plants or any number of other things and the people and stuff. So there we go. Yeah. And that's muted. That's off. So we should be good. We didn't make it to 75% for today either. Slowing down's okay. Yeah, I know, but it's one of those that like when an idea is put forward of like, ah yes, that would be cool, just finish the whole thing in a month. I don't know if the mic picked it up, but there was a chirping sound. I'm pretty sure that was a bird outside and not like a squeaky wheel in the house. Or outside, I don't know. Yeah, that's birds. Never mind. So, yes, we have musical accompaniment if the mic is deciding to pick it up today. There we go. Oh, yeah. I have not posted them on the Instagram as yet, but, and you, you don't know this because I haven't shared anything, but, I have a TikTok now. Just kind of. So yeah, we've got some cat videos and stuff on there so far. But yeah. um But there's a making of a video up there for this guy. And I tried a thing where the arms are a little bit more fluffy instead of just like straight up. So yeah. Was on a conference Zoom call all weekend, which is also part of why I didn't get as much into the reading as I would have liked. So did this buddy, and I'm almost done. Almost done with this one. I just need to finish. Okay. So I need to finish sewing like that much, and then I can stuff them. What? You joined the dark side, did you? I mean, it's more I constantly have cat videos on my phone, and sometimes I'll put them in like YouTube videos and stuff, but sometimes it's just like a random like, hey, look, they did the thing. So yeah, it's that. Yeah. But also yes. And don't worry, Bob Thulu is present and accounted for. He's just currently being a knee support. So yes, he's a very supportive friend. Yes, indeed. Also, like, I always forget when he's just sitting there how like packed the fiberfill is in there. But it's very ergonomic. I'll say that much. So yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Chocolates. Yes. Very nice. And there's pockets. Like seriously. The I mean, like, okay. No, seriously though, this whole thing, this whole bucket is just pieces that I cut out to do more of them back in like November for a show, and they never got made. So yeah, those are gonna be showing up more often. But like, they have pockets that you can put stuff in them and stuff. Anyway, there we go. Yeah. Okay. So, what are we doing? Yeah, I'm at like 40% honestly for this. Okay, let me see if I can get it to actually let me pull up there's the notes. Okay. Some bookmarks. Yeah. Alright. Okay. Anyway. Don't mind me. It the original pattern, because like I couldn't find this thing for the longest time, but the original pattern for these guys is based on a it wouldn't necessarily be a lino cut just because it was using a styrofoam sheet instead of lino, but it essentially we were making stamps to do like block printing, and that was the character that I came up with, complete with like the stitching and everything. So yeah, fun times. Anyway, yeah. So before we dive into it, any thoughts y'all wanna share with the bunch? For this we've got It's Beautiful Palm Country and Donna Lotta. And I got a little bit into why too, but for purposes of discussion and whatnot, it's those two. Also, let me know if the if the stream gets really choppy, because it looks fine, but I'm seeing periodic red with the CPU monitor, and it's saying that there's like 8% drop frames, so not the best out of an 18-minute stream so far. But yeah. Anyway. So Beautiful Palm Country opens with talking about the Brazilian soccer team winning against Sweden in the World Cup. And what was it? Aldous Huxley going to Brazil and wanting to do a tour into the Amazon, from what I'm understanding. Yeah. Is him and his wife going into the Amazon, and they're inviting Lotta and Bishop to go with. Lotta says no, and Bishop wants to go because, like, A, it's an interesting place, and B, she wants to write about it because obviously the New Yorker would pay for that kind of story, which apparently they didn't. But there we go. So, like, I know that there's like a very deep seated racism against indigenous communities, like the world over. You know, that's that's not a debatable thing. It's just objective fact at this point. Um, and there's a passage in here where Lota is, I don't know, trying to get Bishop to not go on the jaunt through the Amazon. Which it is interesting that, like, A, they were included in the story, but B, it like that people who are actively um trying to, at least in theory, help the indigenous populations of the area were included in the trek, I suppose, because there's mention of the specialist, or the backcountry specialist Claudio Villas-Boas, who I posted a link in the Discord, but that's what he's known for. Him and his brother, I believe. And then you have Lota, who is essentially parroting observations of the Portuguese captains, I suppose, because they wouldn't, yeah, they wouldn't have been colonists at that point. They'd be like the initial, like, invading force, pretty much. Yeah, yeah. Caminha. Now, granted, I don't know enough about Brazilian history to definitively pinpoint people in the lineage, but let me just see. Hmm. Okay. 1 second. Yeah, I'm not. Hmm. 1 second. And I realize the 1 second has been a bit, but we're waiting for it to load. But essentially, Lota is being depicted as um either really not wanting her partner to go have an explore in the forest, uh, and is thus like bringing up all the negative stereotypes and everything else, or is just um like believes the accounts of a 14th century scribe to be like objective fact when it's based on first meetings of a people with completely different um, cultural background and traditions and everything else. So, yeah, alright. Ah, okay. I'm gonna copy this and put it in the Discord. It may or may not load. It's not letting me read it, but it looks like it's like someone was trying to recreate something about that whole thing because there was a letter written to the King of Portugal, if I'm reading it right, talking about the discovery, as it were, of Brazil, and that is okay. The original one didn't want to load, but this one does, so we're going with that. Okay. Will also be in the thing, but no. Uh, okay. Yeah, from the looks of it, um, this one letter to the king has been treated as the definitive proof that Portugal discovered Brazil and um that what was it? A population primed for conversion to Christianity. So therefore they should return with missionary expeditions. So yeah. Um Kamina's text assigns no other value to the land, thus discouraging fortune hunters. So, yeah. Alright. Okay. I know we've only been on for like half an hour, but I am in need of a bio break, so I'll be right back. Hopefully the system is working properly, but I will be right back. So, and we'll leave you with some words. Okay. And we're back. Alright. Hey. Okay. Thing of fire. Let's just be weird. Alright. Have a fabulous rest of your evening. Honeycomb. Don't know when that one was sent, but sending all of the hugs. Okay, so let's get back to this once again. Need to resituate the knee support there. Alright. Okay. So, yeah. The way that the indigenous Brazilians were treated, both historically and in the description that they've got in here, right? Not great. Which I realize isn't necessarily a reflection of the author or, you know, what have you, because it's a historical biography, so there's that written in there and stuff. Just something that I'm aware of when I'm reading certain things, and there's certain linguistics that are heavily connected to certain eras and what have you. So, like, honestly, I would be, being that I only know any of these people with a few exceptions, in this context, not as like public figures, regardless of whether or not I've looked up additional information, I would be interested to see what people from Brazil think about the text itself. So that would be interesting. I'm probably gonna try and get some feedback on Twitter or something on that. So we shall see for future episodes and whatnot on that one. But yeah. I did find it interesting though that, oh, okay. Apparently yawning or whatever it was that I just did opened my ears. It didn't pop, but it's like it's like I was wearing headphones and I am not, and this one's clear. Whatever. We're just gonna roll with it. It's fine. Anyway, it is interesting that it was included in there that there was a apparently a spot on old Coke bottles where you could drill a hole and it would work as a hummingbird feeder because what was it? Because the owner of the company liked hummingbirds, which I looked it up and have not been able to find any corroborating information on that. But there are people who use Coke bottles as hummingbird feeders, mostly because in order to do a hummingbird feeder, you have the flight landing base with the straws or fake flowers or whatever connected to a central like well, and usually there's a bottle screwed onto that, and that's how it's disseminated. So it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. It's just something that I have not seen exactly. So yeah, there's that. I just it's this passage, right? The credit afforded to Sandra for her understanding of hummingbirds and soft drink bottles was not enough for her to be admitted into the conversation. Like, she was interesting enough for like a 5 minute aside of, oh, okay. I could use soda bottles to do that. All right. Hey, somebody get me a Coke bottle. I want to do the thing. End of conversation. Uh, and in this particular chapter, we've got Lota turning 50, and there's a note that she turned 50, or she was 50 years old, had a wealth of knowledge, and didn't know what to do with it, which is setting it up for later chapters when she's kind of going whole everything into the creation of the park in what was, if I'm remembering it correctly, a quarry, an old mining quarry. Oh man. I'm yawning more than usual. But I'm pretty sure that's because I don't drink caffeine all that much. Like I don't have caffeine all that often. And there were 4 days that I had essentially like one coffee each day, and from how I'm feeling, it feels like I'm kind of coming off of that. Which corroborates the experiment that I was running. So, there's that. There's a video coming out with that as part of the set of info in not too long too. So stay tuned for that. Anyway. Oh man. And Actually, let me see. Let's see. Song for the rainy season. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. So, we've got Lota trying to figure out what she's going to do with her life. And Bishop, who is trying to write, and both of them are having some issues. And what was it? Bishop finished Song for the Rainy Season, which was bought by the New Yorker. To the verses that celebrated daily life in the house under a private cloud, Bishop added a premonition. Time changes things. In a new era, nature once comforting and lavish becomes sterile. And then there's a few passages from that, I believe. Oh, difference that kills or intimidates much of all our small shadowy life, and the several waterfalls shrivel in the steady sun. So, yeah. And so that particular one ends off with Lotta being unhappy with how the social and political angle of the country is going, and Bishop having just finished a poem, but seeming to not feel inspired to continue writing. Yeah. Then we've got Donna Lotta, and it opens with a note that the capital of the country moved to Brasilia. Which I believe is the older name for Rio. No? No, very much not. Okay. Never mind. Oh, okay. Alright. Alright, that makes sense. Okay, so the capital was Rio de Janeiro from 1763 to 1960. In 1960, the capital moved to Brasilia, which is much more in the interior, and that's still the capital. And it looks like it's a 15.5-hour drive there. So, like, that's the jaunt that we've got going here. There So we've got Rio de Janeiro on the coast, and then Brasilia up here. Yeah, it's like a full 2 states over. Interesting. Alright. So, there's that. And this is the one where Lotta's talking to some of her friends, and she's asked, like, what it is that she wants, and they happen to be facing this, like, a pile of rubble, essentially, in front of the governor's apartment, and she decides, I want that. I want to do something with that. I will make a park. So, as of January 20th, 1961, she was appointed to, quote, advise without obligation to the state, the Parks Department, the subsection of the General Secretariat of Works and Transportation, and the Superintendency of Urbanization and Sanitation, or SURSAN, and especially to study the urbanization of the surfaces arising from the Atero of Flamengo, which that's the Atero. Landfill. So, yeah, the landfill, landfill, the landfill of Flamengo, essentially, and in order to do that, she was essentially given the same position and rank and everything as the qualified engineers, implying that she shared the experience and abilities and everything that they had, regardless of actual qualifications and things. But it was essentially recognizing her as someone with specialized technical knowledge, which they understandably didn't quite appreciate, but like just kind of viewed her as an influential friend of the people in power, so therefore they had to play nice, essentially. And again, that's going with the text and how it's written. Because there are historical accuracies that I've seen, and because it's not meant to be a fictional account, I don't know how much of this is fully accurate, because again, there's a lot of things that are probably more known if you're familiar with all the people involved, but yeah. on the looks of it, seems legit. Alright, we should be good now. And then you have, like, once it's approved that Lota is essentially running a project to install a park in central Brasilia, from what I'm saying. We've got Lota trying to push through things. One person says, like, this is a great idea, go do the thing, and everyone else is fighting against it. And the issues therein. Excuse me. And you've got everyone else who doesn't want the project to go ahead, actively trying to undermine what Lotta's doing. And again, how much of that is because of the perspective used, and how much is, like, objectively that's what was happening. Not like the author versus the reader, just it's essentially from the characters, for lack of a better term, from the people's perspective, not from the perspective of the people in power, I suppose. And okay, there's a note in here too about Bishop and mental health. Bishop felt very much alone. The feeling was not exactly one of solitude, but of abandonment. She felt petty because she couldn't manage to be deliriously happy about what was happening for Lotta, but the truth was that she couldn't. And because Lotta was going out and doing all of her projecting all the time and seemed really happy about it, so, like, okay, being a supportive partner, you want to root for your person and celebrate when they're doing well and everything. But she was also stuck at home feeling pretty abandoned by the whole situation. So, therefore, having a lot of issues with that. Okay, it might. Hi, if you're new here, I fiddle with stuff a lot. Today's thing of choice happens to be a multi-headed charger. There we go, it's kind of in frame now. Where, like, you can clip different ends on and charge multiple things. this is what the lamp was plugged into, and it was having issues, so I tried with the C port, because that's what my phone uses, and it still doesn't want to charge, so I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, no, so that's a very accurate thing of like, you're happy about something. I want to be happy for you, but I can't for whatever reason. So, yeah. And yeah, there was a whole thing in there of Lota saying that it was being called the student restaurant. It sounds like it'd be like the campus cafeteria sort of thing, but that might just be my perceptions of it, and it's something completely different. I don't know, but she wanted to move it to another location so that the spot that it's at now could be added to the gardens, and the rest of them on the board, I suppose, didn't want to do that for any number of reasons. And so they were trying to find some kind of substitution, and it was probably like an illustration of like, this is how nonsensical the people trying to not let her put the park together are like. But there was a section where it's being suggested to move to this other location for the student restaurant, and that's fine. They were okay with that. And it used to be a garage slash warehouse sort of thing, so there were already bathrooms. I didn't have to worry about that. There was already other stuff, so all they really needed to do was add some kind of flooring and put a kitchen in. And that was it. And there was someone coming in saying that the best way to make sure that it was structurally sound was to completely demolish it and rebuild it. Which seems like a pretty strong metaphor for something. What I'm saying is like, there's old buildings that are fine and structurally sound, but we want to modernize it, even though whatever it is doesn't necessarily need modernization. Or the local groups, populations, wherever it is at that point, are doing something and it's fine and it's just there, and some outside force is coming in saying, oh, but I can do it better, and then completely annihilates whatever was originally there. Or what have you. Again, it would be interesting to see what everyone else thinks of that. And if there's some kind of reference that I'm not saying as yet. But yeah, so there is that. Yeah. Um, Really? That's better. There's a section in here too where uh Bishop has started drinking again because that's the only that's the way that she's historically dealt with stress and feelings of isolation. And in order to combat that, because Lota is out of the house like 90% of the time, she hires Joanna to essentially live in the house and keep Bishop company, which is fine. But we've got Bishop, who even after like 7 years in Brazil can't really speak Portuguese. And Joanna, who doesn't really know English. And what was it? Sorry, my brain was on on a track, and then it didn't even derail. It just disappeared. So 1 second. All right, it's gone. I don't know what it was. But yeah. So there's that. Yeah. And then the chapter kind of closes with their friend Mary adopted a kid, so she's dealing with that, and Lotta has the park, so she's dealing with that, and then Bishop is just there, still trying to figure out what she's gonna do. So, what was it? Decided to accept the proposal from Time Life and to write the volume about Brazil for the Life World Library. So, yeah. I don't remember what time of year it is right here. January, February. So it's probably about March at this point. And a full 100-page manuscript needs to be written by August, or at least 100 pages would need to be written by August and the whole thing by November, which It's just like right there. Like, okay. So yeah, for someone who took like 5 years to finish one poem, right? We've got a pretty heavy time crunch. And this is the first time that she's using, or that she's writing a journalistic article, or a journalistic work, really. So there's that too. But it was the opportunity, excuse me, was including the ability to travel around, or the possibility of traveling around Brazil with expenses paid, and $10,000, which is not a small sum, especially at that time. So there's that. Yeah. And then the next chapter starts called Why, and Lota is taking a more direct, I suppose, route with getting authorization to do stuff for the park. So, yeah. Also, it was interesting because apparently there were 4 roads going through the area, and she was trying to convince everyone to take out 2 of them, or redirect them somehow. I don't know. So there's only 2 roads into the area, which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. It's just, how is that going to actually happen, and what does that mean for the surrounding environment? Like, would it be better, or would it not? I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's where we are now. That's where we're gonna end for today. I know it's one of the shorter streams that we've had, but there we go. I'm gonna try and have a longer set of things for the next round. Between that and whatever's going on up here. If I sound nasally right now, it's because I am. So I don't know. I might need some Claritin or something to deal with this. We'll see. Anyway, that's it for today. Yeah. Hope you're having a fabulous day. We'll see you all later. Hugs for everyone. Bye all. And if you're watching this on YouTube, all my links and everything are in the description down below. Have a good one, y'all. Bye now.